Tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a buildup of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never...
Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today we are featuring the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Street Fighter, celebrating 35 years of Street Fighter. Alright, so this 2-pack is produced by Playmates. I found it at my local Target. You might be familiar with the other collabs that Playmates has been doing with the Turtles. You know, there's the Turtles and the Stranger Things 2-packs, and the Street Fighter one, you know, kind of follows along those same lines, but instead of Stranger Things, we're getting the much beloved fighting video game Street Fighter. So this particular set features Chun-Li versus Mikey. The box is pretty cool. It's pretty large, much like the other 2-packs, and it's kind of like decked out to resemble an arcade cabinet. You know, if you're old enough to remember what an arcade cabinet is, this center part kind of recreates the screen with Chun-Li's level in the background. And then you have the character portraits on each side. And then underneath, you can kind of make out the joystick with the buttons. So it's kind of cool. They're paying homage to the original Street Fighter 2 arcade cabinet, which is awesome. On the back, you have this large description up here, and then you have the character portraits from the original game. You have Ryu, Chun-Li, you have Ryu's stage, and then you have Chun-Li's backdrop here, and then you have Leo and Mikey. So what kind of like surprised me with this is that when I saw this in the store, I kind of felt it's kind of like a mismatch. Like, this is supposed to portray Chun-Li, and then over here, you know, with the pixelated logo and then the pixelated character portrait, it's clearly taking, you know, the turtles from like the video games, but the figure here kind of looks more comic book inspired. You know, if you look at it carefully, it kind of has the heavy contour ink lines and then like the cross hatching. So for me, this doesn't really convey video game TMNT. This looks more like comic book inspired. And I just thought it was kind of weird that they do that. I believe NECA makes video game themed turtle figures, and those kind of have a much more almost like pixelated and video game inspired color scheme. What surprises me even more is that the Turtles actually had a fighting game in the 90s. You know, if you're old enough to remember, they had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters, produced by Konami on both the SNES and the Sega Genesis. At the time, Street Fighter was huge, and it was kind of Konami's attempt to tap into the Street Fighter market, but instead of, you know, utilizing their own characters, they took the Turtles, it's actually a really cool game if you get a chance to play it. So I'm going to attempt to unbox this, and it's pretty large, so I might have to unbox it off camera. But I was kind of excited to see this in the stores. I think retails for maybe like 39 bucks. I'm a huge Street Fighter fan. I grew up, you know, in the arcades, and I loved playing fighting games. Fighting games, it's probably like my favorite genre of video games. Street Fighter 2 especially, you know, I have such fond memories of playing that when I was in high school. Alright, let's see if I can take this out. Alright, so we have the beautiful 2-pack. We have Michelangelo on our left and Chun-Li on our right. And I think you can remove this. And this is, I think this is a bonus. Like if you need a backdrop for like fig photography or like your display shelf, it's really cool that they pack Chun-Li's background here. So for me, it's kind of, it's really awesome. This is like the exact, I believe the arcade backdrop. You know, it's completely pixelated. It looks beautiful. And then here are the figures. All right, so the turtle body here, we've seen this figure multiple times over. I believe this figure's been in use, you know, maybe over 10 years by now. For example, here is the Michelangelo utilizing the same body, and this figure came out back in 2012. This was part of the Classics collection, if you remember that. They kind of took inspiration from the original Playmates figures and kind of gave it a similar package design, but with a much more updated figure body. You know, with like the popularity of like Marvel Legends. You know, I think this was Playmates' attempt at providing a much more premium action figure, a much larger scaled one. So this is a much larger figure. Features a lot more of the modern articulation, at least for, you know, what was considered modern back in 2012. But it still, you know, kind of holds up a little. You know, you kind of have like the double jointed elbows, the ab crunch. It has articulated toes and I think fingers also. So they're pretty much, I think they're reusing the exact same body for the newer figures. So chances are you've probably handled this before. And let's take these out. This might require a little bit of time. So for the most part, we're going to take a look at Chun-Li first, because I think that's what most people are going to be interested in, just because if you're a turtle fan and you're a collector, chances are you've already handled, you know, this style of turtle body before. I think that's all the ties. Wow, this is a great figure. Really impressed so far from what I'm handling. All right, let's get Mikey out if I could. I say this all the time in my videos. It annoys me to no ends that they put so many plastic ties for these figures. I mean, realistically, you only just need one around their waist to keep them attached to the tray. This is just ridiculous. So there's like 7 or 8 ties holding Mikey down to the tray. This is I apologize, it's just taking a while, but this can't be helped. Or I think that's... Oh, there's still more. Well, let's see if I can at least get the figure out. The nunchucks might be a different story, but if I can get the figure out, I'll be happy at least. Shoot. Alright, you saw that the feet just popped right off. Alright, that was annoying. Alright. Alright, again, I apologize. I didn't think it would take that long, but man, this guy was being held down by like, I think like 10 or 12 ties, which was annoying. Like I said, this figure is something you've probably handled already. It's not breaking any new ground. This body's been used, I think, for over 10 years. It's decent, though. I mean, it still kind of holds up. It's a little bit dated, but for the most part, it gets the job done. Let's set Mikey aside for now and focus on Chun-Li. So immediately when I took Chun-Li out of the tray, I kind of felt like it kind of exceeded my expectations. When I saw her in the window, it looked all right. But the minute I took her out, it's a really solid looking figure. You know, we've gotten dozens of Chun-Li action figures, you know, since the 90s. But this one's nice. I like the fact that it's being done by Playmates because, you know, it's not so much like a collectible now as it is more like a toy. The last Chun-Li figure I bought was produced by SH Figure Arts, and that's a beautiful figure, but, you know, the price alone for that is super expensive, and now that that figure's been out of print for some time, you know, the Street Fighter Figure Arts figures are going for, well, like anywhere between $80 to like $150 depending on the character. But it's cool that you're getting Chun-Li done by Playmates because, for one, it's affordable, and two, it's done in a way where it seems like you can actually play with it. You know, you can get it in all sorts of poses. You don't have to worry about it being too fragile. You know, Playmates has a pretty solid track record with their toys, and I love the likeness. If anything, I kind of wish she had a different expression. Her expression is very blank. You know, it'd be nice if she had some emotion in her face. But the sculpting is really well done. You know, I like the sharp edges of the hair. The paint application on the face is really clean. Likewise, the trim detail on her outfit, it's painted nicely. There's some areas where the paint doesn't fully register onto the plastic correctly and it kind of bleeds off. But for the most part, it's pretty solid. It's pretty clean. The color choice is nice. I like the shade of blue. It provides great contrast against the white. Her flesh tone is decent, as are her the color of her leggings. And then the boots, well done. In terms of her articulation, oh, real quick, let's get us her height. Chun-Li stands in at about 6 1/4 inches. Head rotates. Does she look down? Looks down a little. Doesn't really look up. The hair pieces here kind of get in the way, but it's forgivable, I guess. Arms rotate. They go outward about this much. The puffiness here kind of like collides with her shoulders. It kind of restricts the movement. Bicep cut up there. Double jointed elbows. You can see exposed pins. She has her trademark gauntlets, those giant bracelets with the spikes. Articulated hands. Swivel at the waist. There is no ab crunch, which I could forgive because I think it provides a cleaner look. Legs kick up about there. This kind of hindered by the skirt. They kick outward though. There's a thigh cut right there. Double pinned knees. And articulated ankles. Chun-Li in the video game, she's known for her kicking, so if you could get her in some decent kicking poses, I think it's a win. It's not as articulated as her SH Figure Arts figure, but I think for the most part, it's decent. Like I said, you know, for the price point, you're getting 2 figures, and they probably equate to like $20 a piece. And I think this is like on par with like, you know, an earlier Marvel Legends. And it's nice. Great figure. I love the quality of the plastic. It feels like a toy. You know how like there's some figures that you're kind of scared to move them because The plastic might feel a little bit brittle, but it just feels like an action figure. You know, this feels more like a toy than a collectible, which for me is a bonus, because I want a figure that I can actually play with and pose and not worry about breaking stuff. So yeah, solid figure. The only thing I'd change, like I said, is her expression. Her expression's kind of blank. And it's a somewhat younger Chun-Li also. But that's alright, I could live with that. So great figure on this end. Oops, just dropped her. As for Mikey, like I said, this is a figure, chances are you've probably handled this style of body over and over again. I'm kind of disappointed that it looks more comic book inspired than video game, just because of the like heavy use of like, it's almost like comic book style inking with the cross hatching and the etching and just the really sharp black. But it's a great figure. I mean, this figure is kind of tried and true. But it'd be nice if we got a somewhat updated, you know, body. But it's cool. I get why they'd use this one. The articulation, you know, head rotates, looks down, looks up a little. Arms rotate. They go outward, bicep cut, double jointed elbows, articulated fingers, cut beneath the breast line so you can swivel up there. Articulated legs. It's very solid, very standard, you know, nothing new. And then you get his nunchucks, which is cool. They come with like a real chain. And then you can store it onto the belts in the back, much like the original Playmates toy, which is awesome. I love that it retains that functionality. So yeah, overall great figure set. I think it's well worth the price. And I'm hoping they give us more. Right now there's only another set out that features Rue from Street Fighter, and I don't know, it's cool. I like the fact that Playmates is finding unique ways to like do other IPs through their you know, their collab series. You know, we get Stranger Things, we get Street Fighter. So yeah, great pairing. Alright, so let's wrap this up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're a returning viewer subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright, later.